they have everything out there. While in the isolated reserve, you don't have much. Like the food out there is less expensive, while food here is like so expensive. Yeah, and it's just how they have everything out there, and while we here don't have much stuff to go on.
Is there any running water to the house?
It was, but the pipe freeze when break, not working anymore. No running water.
If a community, a family, a child doesn't have clean drinking water, as well as to wash in, then obviously the morale of that community is going to be greatly damaged. And this is what we see time and time again, is because there's lack of clean water, it really affects the community's ability to move forward.
What we're seeing with healthcare issues is, I really see that this is really an injustice issue that we're just seeing through healthcare alone.
In spring 2018, the not-for-profit mobile music project Nuejinan collaborated with Pikangikum youth to produce this song about life in Pikangikum.
We will cherish what we know again. We will find some peace and love, my friends. For all creations we will have respect. Just know that you are sacred, so please be brave in the face of danger. There is truth inside.
We met with one of the youth in her home.
My name is Lily and Kirik, and I've been in Pikangikum for 18 years.
Is that how old you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This thing right here is our drinking water, and this thing here is our tea with red rose and just water, and we boil it. And that's how we make our shiwag.
Shiwag?
Yeah, shiwag. I mean, it's like a mixture of red rose tea, milk, and water and sugar. Yeah.
And is that something that like a lot of people drink?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Classic.
Yeah.
Do you mind just telling me about like your water system here and like how you guys collect your water?
Yeah. How we collect our water is from the supers outside. We go down lake, down in boat on the lake, and we would sometimes, how we normally filter our water is we actually use that thing, that water filter.
Can I grab it?
Yeah. And we would grab our bucket and put it in there with a clean bag, and we'd grab our water tank, and we'd spill it in there. Yeah, that's how we filter our water. We don't boil it as much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you don't boil it at all?
No, no boiling at all.
Okay.
So that's how we filter our water.
Simple.
Yeah.
You don't get sick from it?
No, not really.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Lily lives in Pikangikum First Nation in Northern Ontario, where the majority of homes do not have running water or plumbing. The Fly-in Ojibwe community is often under long-term boil water advisory. The latest one has been in place since December 2016. The Trudeau government has promised to end all long-term drinking water advisories on First Nations reserves in Canada by March of 2021. Since this promise was made, 71 advisories have been lifted and 35 have been added. There are 69 still left to be resolved. 97% of Pikangikum speak an Ojibwe language called Anishinaabe. When we spoke with elders, we had the help of a translator.
Because got this installed, yeah, because I is installed. Because kaya inipi. Ni men ska ko men ko me ko sa ka ni inipi. Ka na ni sui na ka me sinun. Ka o sui na ka me. Ja, dus niet je ook na apenoji ju mina angit in sa ka ni inipi. Ji mo sa mo angit ni pi in ti ko na ski ni mi se to ta mo angit. Ni na mo to ne sa na pa sa ko ni mamit ko. Kensi antika isin tau ki an ke ma ke pe ko te e ke ma ke ya ink so coat.
And how old are you?
Ik ken dat nu net zo kieuwen. Me up ik kan tau ki an 1950. November 25. Di nu ko because pin in nas kanka na si inta ito si papi tamako ni pikang si tistikeot ske kay uwe kak ustikate kasta dipitiste ki meos ki kakipako tinu panki ni kaksina.
So when did they put that in, the new system for running water?
La ni pinong kau no kani.
It's brand new. So now, in order to get your water, where do you go?
Umay ni piyo kam kong.
Do you use that for drinking water?
Yeah. Biwa mayaman kotamang.
And do you have to boil it?
Kawin memo sintotan.
Alan Peters is a lead water plant operator. We asked him to explain the reason for the long-term drinking water advisory.
When the power goes out, our generator starts, but it doesn't switch over to our generator because our transfer switch, this doesn't switch. We have to manually switch it.
So once the power goes out, you have to come straight to the plant?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a full-time job.
Yeah.
So,
But sometimes the power goes out in the middle of the night and I'm not aware of it because I'm sleeping.
Okay. Pikangikum is powered by diesel generators, but they are outdated and often overwhelmed by the demand of the roughly 3,200 member community. Power outages can happen daily.
If the power goes out for a long time and pumps won't start and the pressure goes down, it's not supposed to go down below 20 psi.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's what the risk is right now.
Yes.
When we come back, does the washer work?
Not working anymore because our pipes are not working properly.
There is truth inside your greatness.
Life has a limit, I gotta admit it. Feeling so down for what I've been dealing with. Fearing the worst, depression's a curse. So I will stay strong till everyone's listening. Singing for hope, but crying for help. Things don't change, I'm doubting myself. What is the truth? It's harder to tell. The lies we've been told are darker than hell.
Hearing the talks about the past, it's bringing us down, it's hard to laugh. Putting on a face, hiding the pain, I'm focused on changing, finding my way. Wanna help out and bring the courage.
My name is Lauren Turdo. Okay, I was born in Popper Hill. And then I think I was 12 years old when we came here. When it's winter.
Moments before we sat down, the power went out. We decided to do the interview anyway.
Our house got burned down. And then I had everything there and everything gone. Got burned out. And then they put me here to stay. They told me to stay here for a while, but getting long now. We're supposed to get a new house or something.
Is there any running water to the house?
It was, but the pipe got freeze and break. Not working anymore. No running water. When I came here first time, it was okay. You were lots of water here and running water, but they didn't want us to drink from those taps. But we live here, I think it's 22 of us to stay here in this trailer.
How does 22 people sleep at night? Is there enough room?
No, some people here.
They sleep on the hall.
Not enough room.
Not enough room.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Time.
After we're all done. Pikangikum is not connected to Ontario's hydroelectric grid. As a result, there is not enough power to build the 220 houses that are in demand. And the inconsistent power is the main reason for the community's long-term boil water advisory.
Am I supposed to see clear water?
Dr. Mike Curlew is a physician in Sulakaut. He has been serving the Northern Ontario Indigenous population for over 10 years.
The bigger question here is, why is it okay that a certain group of people for such a long period of time have to wait for something that is so basic?
Documents obtained through Freedom of Information requests show that Pikangikum has been rallying to connect to the power grid for nearly 2 decades now. The government has also been aware that water and housing upgrades depend on this power upgrade. Isidore Day is the former Regional Chief of Ontario for the Assembly of First Nations.
When we look at the social determinants of health, the health and well-being of a person, their family, their community, has everything to do with education, economy, social structures, health. Infrastructure is critical there.
While some funding towards the power grid has been provided over the years, it hasn't been enough to complete the project. Speaking to APTN, Pikangikum Chief Dean Owen said, "It's hard to say exactly why or how it has taken this long." He added that the community has spoken with multiple governments over the years about the issue. In fact, Pikangikum has declared a state of emergency multiple times in the last decade because of issues with water, power, and youth suicide. Roy Owen has felt those losses.
Kini nawitiak asanish amatsinasawen angitonik ni chansinanik mishwe esikkentamageni ko tapsko nana estawasion gitonik tapsko papapskenmasion gitonik mi ni kutowen esikkentamadiwa.
The future there is purpose.
Build up the pain, there is so much neglect. Abusing our minds, we've been trying to pretend, but we can do more, don't forget who we are. Life is worth living, there's strength in your heart.
I felt like I needed to let something out into a lyric, because since there's like so many suicides happening, I feel like I need to tell youth in a way that show them that there's something worth more than they think they are. So there's like a connection that I felt like I need to express. So yeah.
We spoke with some of the youth in the video while we were in Pikangikum.
It was mostly our problems around the community as we were growing up. We mainly express it on the lyrics. Well, I've been through a lot, and it's actually really hard to
I want you to know that I'm here with you now. We're in this together, just know she is proud. Holding the moment, let's capture a smile. Cause beneath the surface, the river is wild. We will cherish what we know.
You referred somewhere at something like she, and I wasn't sure who you were talking about.
It's actually from my personal experience. Back in 2011, I lost my grandma, and due to alcoholism, the part she was actually my mom. She's dealing with grief. The lyrics was
The term intergenerational trauma really refers to the transmission of trauma across generations.
Dr. Amy Bombay is a Ojibwe from Rainy River First Nation. She is a researcher and assistant professor in the Department of Psychiatry and the School of Nursing at Dalhousie University.
So someone themselves may not experience something very stressful or traumatic, but their parents might. And that experience of their parents can actually impact them.
You know, it's interesting. Colonization, if you don't address it, it doesn't go away. It just reinvents itself into a form that's more palatable for the current generation.
The systems enforced by the Canadian government have created conditions where many Indigenous people are isolated and deprived of resources. As a result, Indigenous peoples are more likely to deal with physical, mental, and spiritual health challenges.
We were kind of born into bias. A system was designed around us to, through no fault of our own, change our perception on how we look at a certain group of people. And sometimes people might get defensive and say, well, what are you calling me? You're calling me racist. We need to look in the mirror. We've all been steeped in colonial tea, whether we like it or not.
And there's no question that those deep roots of denial of rights have been part of how we got into the difficult circumstances that we're in.
Intergenerational trauma isn't the only effect of the Canadian government's policies. These policies are literally having an impact on the DNA of Indigenous people.
Epigenetics refers to the discovery that genetics is not our destiny. The environment, particularly our early life experiences, can actually turn on and off certain genes. And so it really emphasizes how our environment can actually really influences and has an even stronger link and influence on our health and well-being.
So for me, this is not a housing issue, or this is not a water quality issue. This is actually a health issue. These are not infrastructure issues that we're seeing, that they're health issues.
So I think it puts a lot of pressure on government and the public to say, this isn't okay, this isn't equitable. We aren't giving these Indigenous children with the same potential for their future as other kids in Canada.
Whether you categorize access to clean drinking water as a public health issue or as an infrastructure issue, I think is less critical than the fact that you put focused attention on it and deep political will in the first place, along with, of course, the very significant long-term funding resources that are necessary and meticulous planning to be able to make sure that you're actually going to get the work done. Of course, we need to work with our partners in the better delivery of these practical day-to-day services, but it has to be undergirded by a respect for rights, including some of the most fundamental rights like that of self-determination.
Pikangikum is currently expected to join Ontario's power grid in November 2018. After that, the chief is hoping that things will be different. Speaking to APTN, Pikangikum Chief Dean Owen said, "We're hoping that this is a turning point in terms of infrastructure and improving the quality of life for each and every single person."
Do you ever get to take vacation?
Sometimes.
You're the main guy.
Yeah, sometimes.
And where do you get your water?
A lake?
Do you still boil the water when you take it from here?
Yeah, I gotta.
You do?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because we're under boil water advisory.
Yeah. I've heard some people say that they still don't boil it and drink it.
Sometimes I won't.
And have you ever gotten sick?
No.
Okay.
I remember an elder once telling me, you don't measure progress by inches and feet exclusively. You get frustrated sometimes because you don't see things moving fast enough, right? You want things to go faster. But you actually measure progress in degrees. And I said, what do you mean by degrees? And they said, because the first thing that you need to do when you change is you need to point your head in a different direction before you've taken a single step. That's why I hope that we're starting to, there's lots of work to be done, but we're at least starting to look in a different direction.
We will cherish what we know again. We will find some peace and love, my friends. For all creations we will have respect. Just know that you are sacred, so please be brave in the face of danger. There is truth inside your greatness.
I've been here for 25 years. It's always been family-oriented, quiet, friendly, that everybody felt safe in. This changed about 2 years ago when women started going missing.